Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show. Ash Brent, America celebrating 250 tomorrow. Get an early jump on it today. Welcome to the Atzenoffer studio, where we are live every single morning on the Wade and Carter Show from beautiful downtown Victoria. Wade and Carter Weather Bridge, the great folks at ATD Earlham Hayfeed and Ranch Services.
78 degrees under sunny skies in Victoria, Texas. Heading to a high today of 93. Tomorrow, the same to 94. Sunday, the same to 94. Monday, the same to 92.
There you go. Entire forecast right there in a nutshell.
To get you back to the program next week.
Absolutely. Scott Tomko, Marvin Biggers, Tammy Keeling on the podium this morning. Good morning, folks. Glad you're all here. Thanks to everybody tuning in on the Noble Network, as well as Magic, the mothership, 95.9 FM, and everybody on YouTube and Facebook and the likes. Where do you want to start? Couple climbed the Empire State Building yesterday. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, Russian couple.
Yeah, apparently
I
they do this.
Apparently they're known for climbing things. They had gone into the Empire State Building with like a guest ticket, and you can go to an observation level that's like near the 100th floor or something. And they ended up sneaking away, stowing away, spending the night. They broke a lock on like the 104th floor and got to through a hatch and onto the roof. There's a spire that has radio transmission equipment on it, and they climbed to the very top of that and hung a banner that said something like, you know, when love overcomes hate, you can have peace, or some beatnik thing that's cool. That's cool. But they endangered themselves, which I normally wouldn't care about. But the problem is these folks are well known for climbing, and I just hope they don't inspire like some local idiot to scale the Prosperity Bank and then fall and bust their dome. That's because they're getting a lot of publicity. And, you and I talk about often that we don't mention a lot of times the criminal by name. People do things to get recognition. And part of that is, I don't know how much that was these people's motivation. I think they were just thrill seekers. Yeah, that's all who are qualified. That's what they do. So did you see Patricia Nagel checking in? That's great.
Well, the banks are closed today.
Are they?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. First State Bank of Louise, Astros update. Astros play yesterday?
No, they didn't.
There you go. Astros update. First State Bank of Louise inviting you to come in. They have a location, right? They've got lots of locations. Sugarland. They got a new location in Shiner. Yeah. But they've got a location here at the corner of Salem Road and John Stockbauer. Busy intersection right in the middle of town. You can go in. Yeah,
they are open today. There you go.
There you go. See? Lying about the bank. The bank's open today. Go by and get some cash. But today is a good day. Your kids are out of school. You can go by and open a free checking and or savings account for your kids. Teach them, instead of giving them an allowance, give them a debit card and put some money in their account and let them understand, oh, wow, you can't buy that because you don't have any money. It's good for kids to learn banking responsibility. And while you're there, they can help you, whether it's a business loan or a home improvement loan, or you want to just do your own banking there. They've got all the bells and whistles, the online apps and all of that. And when you walk in, they're the friendliest bank and they will call you by name.
I just figured the banks are closed because all the stock markets are closed today. So,
well, there you have it.
I guess
the banks will just be closed on Saturday, which now has become a banking day.
Yep. Doesn't give you a long weekend, though.
That was a shock probably for bankers back in the people talk about bankers hours. That may be true that, it's 9 to 4, but it ain't true for the people like Patricia Nagel who work all day and then have to drive home from Sugarland or wherever. But I wonder about the first time they said, oh, by the way, we're going to be open till noon on Saturday. Those drive-through tellers were like, not me. It's like a school teacher,
Not us in the lobby.
I got into teaching because you get 3 months off, and now you don't. Yeah.
or the folks in retail. Hey, I think we're going to open on Sundays now.
Right? Well, that reminds me to remind you of Veracruz Restaurant. Get in today on a Chicken Fried Friday because they're not open on Saturday or Sunday.
No.
Lee and Ida and Minnie give that time to their family, which is who works in the restaurant. Many of those folks take a nice long weekend every week. What did you make yesterday? So I'm going to run something by you
travel
folks.
Weekend ever for July 4th.
Yeah, but the economy is terrible. Nobody can afford to go anywhere.
Nobody wants to go anywhere.
Everybody's going. I yesterday, with tongue firmly planted in cheek, made a post on Facebook about a picture that I took. Rylan and I were out driving around, and I came upon a corner over in Highlands with this postal truck, and you can go to my Facebook page and you can see it. And it's that little, it's an AM General, it's like the people that make the Hummer, make that little ugly box truck. And I've never seen one going over like 30 miles an hour ever. And most of the time, and one of the running jokes here on the program has always been that when I see one, it's usually on the back of an Allen's Wrecker Service flatbed truck. And sure enough, this thing is just sitting, in the ditch. My man's got it it's on like two wheels and one wheel's up in the air. And we did confirm immediately that the driver was okay. And then the whole thing became very funny to me once the driver was okay. And I literally put down the window and I go, Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. And he laughed. Well, we've already called him. And I said, that's great, So I just put the picture on Facebook, and it just struck me as odd that there were several people who really lashed out like, it's hot out there, and you have no idea what that guy's going through, and I can't believe that you're mocking him. And I didn't take a picture of the guy.
I don't even know who you didn't.
I didn't put his name on there. I just pointed out that the guy was a bonehead for driving a vehicle that goes about 5 miles an hour into a ditch sober. If it was midnight and he had absconded with the vehicle to go to the brown bag or something, I might have gave him a pass. I thought it was funny. And people went postal on me over it.
And they were postal workers.
People might need to get a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Come on. And it's kind of where I'm at with our country right now. Whether you realize it or not, you live in the greatest nation that has ever occupied the earth. There has never, ever been a country that was a better ally to other countries. There has never, ever been a country that's been more benevolent with its seemingly endless resources.
More dominant in sports.
Other people use terror to spread their message. The United States has used humanitarian aid, medical research, four times as many Nobel Prize winners as England, which is a distant second. It's just mind-numbing how lucky you are to live in this country. And then
half of the people want to destroy it and turn it into a communist country.
That's exactly right. And I think what really upsets me the most is that you can go right over here to our town square with purple hair as a man dressed in a skirt and scream "No Kings" and Black Lives Matter and any other divisive crap you want to spew. And people like me would take up arms to protect your right to do it. But if I go over to the town square and casually share with people that God is love and that America needs to return to its Christian roots, and that even though Donald Trump is a flawed vessel, we all need to make America great again. Oh, you're just a MAGA Christian
they'll
nationalist.
They'll try to dox you and destroy your life.
You're one of those. You're one of those radical right-wing idiots. I'm at the point where there needs to be a comeuppance. It is time for the 80% of us that reside in the middle to take back our country. And if that means that me, as a conservative person, that I've got to reach across the aisle to someone and find a way to, okay, I'll help you. Let's acquiesce a little bit on some of your social services garbage that's a waste of money. It's a redistribution of wealth. I'll do that to keep the guys out of women's sports, identify mental illness where it is.
And I think that's the problem. I think that's where the problem is in Congress and our legislative bodies, because there's too much of that deal making that compromises the values.
But it's always on 90-10 issues. Well, if you'll let me balance the budget, I'll let the dudes in the skirts play field hockey.
You get enough 90-10 issues, and all of a sudden they're almost 100% issues.
100%. They're all 90-10 issues, and they're on the extreme fringe. Okay, we'll let you put, the 10 commandments in the schools, and we'll do away with abortion on demand, but we want all the guns. I mean, there's people that would go, sold, I'm good, I'm in. Absolutely destroy the Bill of Rights. They'd have no problem over the 90-10 issues. And I'm sorry.
It's more efficient if we just put everything into one bill and discuss it. Bull crap. There's no efficiency in Congress anymore.
No, I agree 100%.
Your rules and rules of engagement in Congress, both the House and the Senate, have become more important than passing laws that actually work for Americans.
Yep, I agree. Stephanie Connie says it's because we allow them to indoctrinate our children for 20 years and then some, and that is our public school system. And it's only the Republicans that cave for the last 10 to 20 years.
Our public school system is taught that communism is great.
Yeah.
They've looked up to China. They don't even teach about the Soviet Union because they just tell you Putin's bad because he's an oligarch. Donald Trump's the threat. Capitalism is bad. More people are impoverished because of capitalism, which is absolute BS. Yep. More people have been raised out of poverty because of capitalism.
Nobody ever flees to a socialist country. Nobody. And then the other day I saw a guy goes, what about Switzerland and Norway? And what you're doing is you're naming all these countries that are 95% white. They're all the same. Yeah, you've got some.
Except for Switzerland's soccer team,
like Norway. Well, that's citizenship of convenience. But Norway, for example, people describe them as a socialist country. They are a capitalist society, but with a lot of socialist input. So at the end of the day, to say that Norway, it's as stereotypical to say that Norway is socialist as it is for me to say Norway is a white country. Same thing. We're both kind of wrong, although I'm closer to being right because it's 85 to 90% white. They don't have Islamophobia because they ain't got no Muslims. You get it? That's the truth.
Sweden, on the other hand.
Yeah. Olga. Everybody's named Olga.
No, they're worried about that, but no, it's where we are. We've forgotten how. We haven't forgotten. Those of us that know, man, I wish we still had that episode with Dr. Reguera when we were in the old studio and telling about what he went through to escape communism and the sacrifices.
He went to Spain. He didn't know where to go.
15 years old. Parents told him, go because we want you to live and not suffer.
He ends up in Spain and they somehow, of course, there's no cell phone.
No.
Right?
Somehow sent letters.
He ends up finding an uncle, I believe, and who took him in, and the next thing you know, they got him educated and everything. The man becomes a doctor, ends up coming to the U.S.
Best
legally.
pediatrician ever.
Absolutely. And a fine, and it was so powerful because here he was about to retire.
Yep.
And he got so emotional sharing with Ash and me what had made America great for him.
Yep.
So we're sneaking up. Tomorrow is say it for me?
Tomorrow?
No, come on.
Tomorrow?
There you go. 250th anniversary of the beginning of this experiment. Took a while to get it done. The founding fathers did not meet on a Thursday and develop a document by Saturday. I think it's important to note that these people, the original signers of the Declaration of Independence, literally signed their own death warrants.
Absolutely.
These people were formally, in an educated manner, with like a notarized document, committing treason against the crown. We pledge our fortunes and our lives to this premise. I guess the most famous signature would be the big scrawling script of John Hancock. But those people, many of whom did die, they said, we will unite and we will stand against the tyranny of a crown that just takes from our country, which wasn't our country, takes from the 13 colonies. We will preserve states' rights. We will not establish a state religion. Absolutely, the country was founded by religious people with religious freedom intentions. It was not founded by Islamists. It was not. It was founded by Christians, men of high moral character, for
the most part,
for their freedom.
And now we've gone so far as you have elected representatives sleeping with Chinese spies, and then we reelect them.
Yeah, well, it's because they're from California, and be aware of that.
Well, it doesn't even matter because Congress protects him. They didn't kick him out. They didn't investigate him into finding out what he was doing and whether or not he was actually acting in a treasonous manner. You're telling me.
Have you seen Fang? I mean, there might be some temptation there. I don't know.
It doesn't matter. Known spy to an enemy of this country, and they protect their own still as a body, and then Californians are stupid enough to reelect them. That's how far we've gone in this country.
Think
From
about
people
the idea.
willing to die to others who are willing to protect one of their own because he's in bed with a Chinese spy.
George W. Bush has shown you with his actions since his presidency that he's basically a Democrat, yet the Republicans still respect and roll him out for special occasions. And then you look at a guy like Eric Swalwell, and when they decided, they being the puppeteers of what's left of the Democrat Party, which is in huge trouble because these Democrat socialists are taking over their party, and they're not part of the swamp.
No.
They're not part of the swamp. The swamp is getting poured out. But understand that when they decided that Eric Swalwell was no longer a front runner for their future, dude, he's gone. You never hear his name. You never hear of Joe Biden anymore. Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, abandoned by the Democrat Party. They're gone, man. If you don't help them further their agenda, and as far as I can tell, their only agenda item is power. They don't say, you've got to elect us because I have a plan for Medicare for all. They just say, I mean, here's a Democrat speech. Tax the rich, affordable housing, free health care, and an open border because our neighbor is our brother.
Free cell phones.
That's it. That's it.
Are they not just are these communists? Because I'm not going to call them Democrat socialists because it's not what they are. They hide behind that name. They're communists. Plain and simple. Some of them even admit it. Have they not simply filled the void, though, that was created when Donald Trump came in 2 terms ago and started draining the swamp?
Yeah.
Really? I mean, that's kind of what's happened, because the Democrats were in such disarray. They had nobody to fill those positions. Republicans can't ever seem to get their act together and make headway and inroads into areas where Democrats are fractured. So who was left? The communists.
Yeah. We have opened the door for communism to come into our country.
And you look at the people that are winning these seats. They're young, rich, like Mamdani, who's never really worked.
They've never worked. They have no idea what it's like to make a payroll.
Or they're a bunch of younger idiots who believe that they're owed everything because they've actually done nothing yet and haven't had to sacrifice anything because they've lived on the coattails of their parents and the riches of their parents, but they think they deserve everything that everybody else in the world has worked hard to get because their parents have enabled them and given it to them. So they think that's just the role of government now. And these are the communists that are coming in to take over this country.
So Tim Walz yesterday making news, he called the Supreme Court's ruling on men and women's sports, he called it cruel. So he called that cruel.
Yet all they really did was tell a state, you have the right to do what you want to do. And if you want to ban biological men from playing women's sports, you can do so.
So you can talk about genders all you want. There are 2 sexes, and we group our athletes by their biological sex. It shouldn't be that confusing. And if you really want to argue with me about it, well, then 894-4020. I think that you're either never, ever have you played a sport in your life, or you don't have a daughter that you don't want to see get beat in the face by, some trans dude. The other thing, Tim Walz, so he called it cruel that the Supreme Court won't let the tranny dudes play in the girls' sports, but he pardoned an illegal immigrant who had been convicted of sexually assaulting a 10-year-old child. So that's how benevolent Tim is. A guy was convicted of assaulting a 10-year-old child, and Timmy pardoned him. He granted a pardon to Tulu Vang, a Laotian national, who was convicted of first-degree criminal sexual assault involving a child in 2006.
Convicted, not accused of, not suspected of, convicted of.
Tim decided to pardon him. The primary deciding factor for the board in granting the pardon was a letter submitted by the victim. The victim said she had forgiven Vang, believed he had rehabilitated, and asked the board to grant the pardon so his family could stay together. Feelings, whoa, feelings.
And Walz was one of 3.
So
Attorney
what
General
happens when it
Keith
happens
Ellison
again?
and their Supreme Court Chief Justice in there.
Keith Ellison's a huge leftist idiot.
What's wrong with this guy's family?
Right.
So the victim admits it happens. He was convicted of first-degree criminal sexual conduct. The victim says she has forgiven him.
Good for her. That's her
That's
prerogative.
great.
Society does not forgive you, Mr. Vang. And by the way, he was said to be deported. He's an illegal immigrant. But no, Tim can't do that. Tim, Mr. Benevolence. What happens if? What happens if this guy assaults someone again?
It'll happen.
There you go. Let's take a break, and then we've got a guest. We'll try to lighten up the mood a little bit. I think that it's important that we discuss what's wrong with America. And here's the deal. The reason it's important is America is the only country on the planet where we can solve the problems. All we have to do is engage, get involved, and vote. There are other countries. I promise you, there are people in Russia who don't have the freedom to go on the radio and rail against Vladimir Putin, who have solutions that could help Russia. They could end the war with Ukraine. They could solve the energy problems in the former USSR. But they don't have the freedom to do it. Can you imagine what an emotional beatdown it would be to wake up every day and go, I've got the answers, but nobody will listen? You are fortunate to live here where you can make a difference.
And unfortunately, we've gotten to a point where our government seems to create problems so they can solve them. And
the Democrats.
The citizenry just lets it happen. Look at what's going on around the rest of the world with these laws to protect kids from the internet and from apps, because parents have refused to parent and want to be their kid's best friend. And now they want the government to solve the problems they've created.
Yeah, the English now have Parliament giving more power to what they call their e-safety commissioner.
Yeah.
This is a guy that, because England doesn't trust, or the UK doesn't trust its citizenry to police their own children, they had to create a state office. And while that may make sense, right? Well, somebody's got to do something. Think about the idea that the answer to those folks lies in government.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you translate that back to where we are, that's a lot of where we are with our public schools. Let the public schools sort that out. I got to work. I'm going to work. It's tough out here. You just, my kid can't have a phone at school. Okay, that's good. Good job. Way to go. So, we too often, even in this country, we acquiesce. We give up our civil liberties in the pursuit of letting the government help us. The government can't help you. They can't.
We'll tax you.
Quit relying on the government. You heard that Mamdani guy. We will get away from the folly of rugged self-reliance, and we will lean on the collective. It's called communism, folks. It's in your backyard. You better find a way to fight it. USA Concrete Coatings inviting you, store your weapons in a safe on a level foundation. USA Foundation Repair will come out and level your drab slab and then put down a tough as nails polyurethane coat that won't
crack, stick, peel, or fade.
And you can enjoy your garage forever.
And the best part is, whatever they're doing, whatever work, whether it's coating or foundation repair, give them a call, 578-HOME, and they will come out and give you a free estimate.
They're fantastic people too. Charlie Garcia and his brothers run this company. This is an American success story. They don't work for the government. Went Services, helping you install a turnkey Generac generator, American-made product, right there in Wisconsin. Comes with a free slice of cheese. Went Services.
I want the whole block.
They will come out,
white cheddar,
assess your needs, help you make the right decision for your home. Oh, I just want to be able to run my AC and maybe a refrigerator. Well, when the power goes out, you'd also like some lights. Let them help you understand the real cost. Parvita Wellness and the Vita Cafe. Parvita Wellness, today's a good day. If you can beat Lisa Poole, get in there, because all the meals that are left from this week, they pre-package meals, so you can go in when you're hungry. They'll heat it up for you right there. You can eat it right there. Yep. Now you can buy those meals and take them home. They are fantastic.
They're buffalo chicken over spaghetti squash.
There you go.
Really good. Yep.
Michael?
So we're live from the world famous Astronaut for Studio, as we are every single day. And my used vehicle of the week, a very nicely appointed 2020 Lincoln Nautilus. Go see Dinah or any of the gang at Astronaut. Internet price $19,786 for a 2020 Lincoln Nautilus. It's a nice vehicle.
Yeah, I bought a Ford from Atzenhofer, and I've been thrilled with.
Will they service it for you?
Absolutely, they service all makes and models. And the other thing, and it's really more of a bonus for Dawn than me. They've got a really first class body shop, so when she decides to ding it up, it's all fine. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to switch cameras back to our
Please
guy.
do.
So we're joined by the marketing side of the Atzenhofer dealership. Atzenhofer, for over 100 years, has been the vehicle source for our community. How are you, Michael?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you, gentlemen, this morning?
We're doing very
doing
well.
good.
So Brent, Ash,
Yeah, thanks for having me.
we're the guys. We rant
Thank
and
you,
rail
guys.
every day, but it's great to talk about. I joked with you yesterday, and Ash said he's probably too young to remember that, but baseball, apple pie, and Chevrolet. It's something that Chevrolet being integral, I think, to our nation. I think it's one of the fundamental, it's like one of the truths, one of the standards of our country is the Chevrolet pickup.
Yeah. America's going on 250 years. Atzenhofer's going on 100 years.
Isn't that something?
Chevrolet's been a little more than 100 years. It's basically the foundation of the country. We've been around for a long time, and that's something we're super proud of,
So tell folks what you're doing. What are your projects? What are you doing for Atzenhofer these days? Because you don't sell cars. They don't understand. Maybe they don't know that.
Well, we all help people buy cars, so we're all involved in that. But yes, sir. So I handle the social media, the online marketing stuff. Getting out in the community. We have a big initiative with our Pay It Forward events that we do. We've already helped the community raise over almost $1.5 million
Nice.
through that, giving back to the community. So we're super proud of that. So I had that up with Jamie. Him and I go out in the community, find people, that we can help, sports organizations, churches, you name it, we're there. So that's kind of what I do.
Have you already met the folks at the Goliad Rodeo?
I have been involved with them through other organizations. So yes, we have been involved with that.
Fantastic. And it's for me, and I think it's in part, Ash, and help me fill in the gaps here. It's in part because you go to Goliad where Atzenhofer is not the local Chevy house. And yet everything at the rodeo, I make jokes that they've got like the get your free Atzenhofer tattoo.
Yeah. I'm surprised every horse isn't branded with
Yeah,
an
because
Atzenhofer A.
we say if it stands still for more than 10 seconds, somebody's going to slap an Atzenhofer sticker on it. And I always look at that as symbolic and emblematic, if you will, of Atzenhofer's commitment to the community, how they give back. In that case, it's advertising, but it's just like, it just radiates that they support what's going on at the Goliad Rodeo.
Well, and you guys help it. It's always one of the top 5 small rodeos in the United States, and they're always on the in the running and at the NFR every December for the best small rodeo in the country. And I think it's a large part to what you guys do, and the folks around here that come out and watch that rodeo and make it a fun time for the Cowboys.
Yeah, that is kind of a big thing Atzenhofer likes to focus on is community first, sell cars second. And you were kind of mentioning that as the advertising part, and that's really what makes my job kind of easy is that we're not going out trying to say, just like everybody else, hey, come over here, we got the best deals. I mean, you can buy a car anywhere. Our thing is just giving service first, giving back to the community, and then people will know who we are. So that's kind of what we try to do.
When I walk through, like, say, an HEB, and I see there's certain iconic brand. You see the Frito-Lay guy, and he's fronting the shelves. If you watch those guys, they move very, very quickly, but it's very, very methodical. They take it, they kind of shake the bag, get it positioned just right. Boom, 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 boom. They're loading the shelves. I walk by and see the Del Papa folks putting Budweiser on the cooler. And I'm like, I always tell them the same thing. I go, hey, the first rule, right? Don't screw it up. Just don't screw it up. I mean, you've got the iconic brand, the iconic product. There are very few dealerships anywhere in the country that are 4th or 5th generation family owned business, for all these years. And there's never been a time when the Atzenhofer dealerships gave back more than they do now. It's unbelievable how they.
And those pork chop plates are phenomenal.
I was going to say almost weekly, you guys are cooking something for somebody and giving it away.
Yeah, so we have unfortunately a huge waiting list. You know, great for us, great for the community, but we do have a long list of people forward to help. Always reach out to us because we definitely love to do that. Atzenhofer Studio looks great. I see you're wearing the 100-year hat. Eric said, make sure we get these guys.
Love it, man.
Nice.
We're gonna give some new swag.
Merch, you know, because
let's see.
we're there. How about that?
Yeah.
Pick the ones you want. All right, you can have it.
Yeah, you got the redfish. You can represent the redfish like I got there.
Redfish hat.
Yeah, so I see you already got the 100-year hat on, man. We appreciate you rocking that.
I love it. No, tell us a little bit about how long have you been with Atzenhofer now?
So I actually started with Atzenhofer in 2019, worked for a few years, and then I moved out of town and recently came back. So one of the guys made a switch to the Golden Crescent Food Bank. So I kind of took over his role over there in the internet department. So Eric called me. He said, hey, man, I have an opportunity. I think you'd be a great fit. So I actually just recently came back to the team.
Tell folks maybe something they don't know. Like Ash, we're going to get some skinny here. All right. Tell us something about Tommy Taylor.
So, you know, a lot of people know a lot of things about Tommy Taylor. You know,
I've read his book, My Way by Tommy Taylor.
Yeah, Tommy's actually a great guy. He's the greatest guy I've ever worked for. You know, you were talking about the family lineage, and that goes back not even just to the community, but to the employees too. One thing about Tommy is that he takes very good care of us. No matter what it is, you know, I've worked for organizations and they say, hey, we're going to take care of, we're going to do this. The guy just goes all out. We just recently had a golf tournament, took care of the whole team, got us catered lunch, got us all golf balls, got us green fees. You know, the thing with him is he just always goes above and beyond to make sure he takes care of the team and the community.
Well, I knew that. I kind of threw you a softball there. Tommy, make a note. Michael did. He read it just as you wrote it. And he probably deserves some kind of a stipend for that.
I don't disagree with that, Tommy. I definitely
there
deserve
you
a
go.
Thing,
there you go.
I hope I got it right.
He hit it out of the park.
Anything exciting coming up anytime soon? Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, so we got all kinds of stuff. You know, once again, we're always going out and doing these things. So next week we're actually renting out the entire movie theater. We're going to take the entire crew and all of our family.
Nice.
We're going to have a rally meeting. We do a rally meeting once a month to kind of award the employees of the month, recognize everyone who's doing a great job, going above and beyond. That's super important to us at the dealership. So we're renting out the whole entire Cinemark Theater. We're going to have our rally meeting there. We're going to watch the Toy Story 5 as a group. We kind of do everything together as a family. That's why we always say the Atzenhofer family.
Right.
I know people think, you know, what does that mean? Well, we really do, as a team, do a lot of stuff in the community together.
Awesome.
So we're looking forward to that.
Well, that camaraderie, you know, builds cooperation. Cooperation gets things done. When a sales guy promises something, I've seen dealerships where sales and service they're divided.
Yes.
And so the sales guy says, "Oh, don't worry, I'll get my tech to look at that real quick." The tech goes, "I ain't got time for that. Well, I'm busy today." That doesn't happen at Atzenhofer.
It doesn't. And that's actually one of the beautiful things is they empower us to make sure we always take care of the customer. So that's a great feeling to work for somewhere that when something does go wrong, you can go directly to ownership, management, anybody. We're all on the same page. Hey, take care of the customer first. So that's a great feeling to have the support from ownership like that.
Do you think there's a chance?
There's always a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance? Is there a chance that the character Woody on Toy Story was somehow patterned after Tommy Taylor?
That's funny that you say that because he actually has dressed up as Woody for
Halloween. I can see that.
He does a great job.
But Woody's like the consummate good guy. You know, he's trying to manage the chaos. No, I'll tell you, because Tommy's a young guy, relatively speaking, certainly to me. But from the very beginning, like when I went by and congratulated him when he was named dealer principal, and it was a formality. He had been running the operation, you know, everywhere but on paper for quite a while. He was, you know, when somebody's going, "Oh, shucks," and they're lying to you, he could not have been more humble. He was literally like, "Well, you know, all it is to me now is a recognition of the responsibility. I've got a responsibility to the community and to my family and to all these employees to get it right." And when you go to work each day with that attitude, it's got to go throughout the organization, you know. And our favorite, I know mine, I think I speak with Ash here, my favorite employee over there is Adela. When I go to the service drive, she's always there.
She's my service advisor too.
She's just awesome. She's just the person I call to visit with. So,
what's coming up for the rest of the 100th anniversary? What big celebrations and exciting promotions does Atzenhofer have going on? Can people go by and get the swag?
Yeah, so they're always welcome to come by. We do have stuff available. A lot of times we give customers free swag because we like to have people representing our stuff. So we always appreciate everybody who does that. We did have the 100-year anniversary back in April, which we had a big ball event for that, which that turned out great. A lot of community support for that. And, we're just doing things all year long. So it's not really about it being 100 years for us because we kind of carry the same legacy throughout the year, no matter if it's 100 years, 75 years. That's always kind of been what they founded Atzenhofer on, was, taking care of the customers, kind of the same way that America, the foundation of Atzenhofer in America, the things they were built on is a lot of the same principles, to be honest.
Absolutely.
Scott Snow, one of our listeners, says when he had his AT4 dealing with, I won't name him, another dealer in town was a nightmare. He now has a Silverado, and dealing with Atzenhofer has been a complete 180 from the nightmare that he used to deal with another dealer in town. He says it's been so nice. So there you go.
Yeah, that's great to hear. We don't ever want to say anything about any other dealers, but we hold ourselves to a certain level of accountability, and that's great to hear that, he was happy with that.
Well, it is worth noting that of the major brands, I think you're one of the few that's family owned locally. There are some other dealers in town that are actually great dealerships, but Atzenhofer being certainly the longest family owned, one of the longest family owned businesses in this community. Our program, and I know you're part of our sponsorship, and we appreciate you. But with us, Allen's Wrecker Service has been here 50 years. Chestnut Furniture has been here for over 100 years.
Yeah.
First State Bank of Louise has been around over 100 years. You keep going through all these, or 75 years now for First State Bank of Louise. We went to their buffet just last month. But all of these blue blood companies fall right into the same wonderful, corral with the Atzenhofer dealership. So,
and most importantly, they support this forum, which doesn't exist and hadn't existed in this community for years.
Yeah, when we were kids and before Ash even got here, there used to be a live forum where, we've tried to hook up for a while now, where we encourage people to come in and share what they've got going on. I got a call yesterday. A gentleman wants to, they're going to have a trading card show here, a card show. And I did not know that was that big a deal, but listening to him, he was like, oh man, it's going to be great. And we're going to have food vendors, and he's fired up about it. And he goes, do you think I could buy some time on your show? I said, I'll do you better. Come on by.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, and Atzenhofer will pay for your time.
Well,
you just come on by and tell us what's going on.
Yeah. Well, we're proud to be able to sponsor you guys, and we love what you do, and we're proud supporters, So thank you guys for allowing us to do that.
Hey, and thank you for taking time to come by. I hope you have a great 4th. Do you have big plans for the 4th?
Yeah, we're actually off on the 4th. Once again, the family values, they let us off on all the major holidays, especially 4th of July being an important one. So they told us to go spend time with the family. When I leave here, our general manager, Eric, and I, we're going to go out. We got barbecue for the guys. So we went and picked up a bunch of meat and stuff.
What time's that meat going to be ready, Ash? Where do you
come by? We're going to start about 8 o'clock, probably serve between 11 and 12. So you guys are more than welcome to come by. Anyone else in the community that wants to stop by, you'll see the smoke flowing out of the front of Atzenhofer, and we're going to be there all day.
We call that a self-imposed celebrity flyby. That's what we'll call it. Like, hey, you almost kind of know us.
No, I call it the self-invitation.
There you go. That's the right way to put it. Well, we appreciate you coming by, and so is it McLeod?
It is McLeod.
Because I've got a buddy, Scott McLeod, that's from here, and but you, like, my Siri is this super hot Australian chick. I can see her. She looks a little like Nicole Kidman, but better body. And she says, calling Michael McLeod.
I can get on board with that.
McLeod, yeah.
I
guess it's probably Scottish, right?
It is
awesome.
Scottish. Yes, sir.
So they're probably gonna be swilling drinks over there while they're
killed some bagpipes
while they're making
the pipers are piping.
right? Unbelievable. We'll give you a free pass and tell you thanks, and we'll come by and see you. I'll always stick my head in now now that I know how to.
I
put
appreciate
a face
you guys.
with the
Thanks
name.
for reaching out and letting me
Hey,
come on.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Have a great Fourth.
Happy Fourth.
God bless your family, and God bless the Atzenhofer dealership.
God bless you, gentlemen.
Take
Have a
care,
great
brother.
day. Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good. That's Michael McLeod. And if you need to visit with him about something regarding the marketing of Atzenhofer, just reach out. You can call the dealership and ask for Michael. He's a great guy. We've been catching up via text and on the phone for a while now, and trust me, he's a very busy individual. We mentioned Chesnick Furniture. Let Chesnick and Love make your house a home. Get in today. Get a new recliner. Be ready for the next America soccer game,
Belgium.
the Canadian game. America's going to throttle Belgium, even though we've never beaten them.
I think one time. That's it.
Do you believe in miracles? Not twice. Yeah.
Miracle on grass?
Sooner or later, America winning their knockout match for the first time in 24 years. We're just not a big soccer country. Nope. It's the wrong camera. Who runs this show?
Ross looks pretty good there, though.
Right?
Let's see what else.
Happy
Frank Mejia
accidents.
checking in.
Frankie, go Yanks.
So KSAT running their, their obligatory,
Channel 5 in San Antonio.
fireworks, grilling, heat, 4th of July dangers, according to doctors.
It's
preventable
summer.
injuries. Yeah.
That's just a leftist bent. I saw it the other day that people in France, Ash, are saying, we never needed AC in Europe until Donald Trump became president. He's a climate denier. These people are so stupid.
Blaming it on the U.S. is just ridiculous.
They're so stupid. I'm at
China's
the point.
China's right off of your continent, and they've been polluting for centuries.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. I'm at the point where, if it comes down to it and we need to have some kind of a little civil skirmish, I'm at the point where I'm ready to let's get it. I don't have that many years left to live. I'd rather die defending something my dad went into the military for than live amongst all these idiots.
So last year, San Antonio, city of 1 million plus,
half of them in the military, the other half retired.
First responders responded to 3 burn calls, 9 building fires, 4 grass fires. They said they had 5 cases, at least this is at Baptist Health System, emergency rooms up there, according to the KSAT report last year. They treated 5 cases involving fireworks, injuries, and burns.
That's just social Darwinism. If you go out there and put your arm into a puddle of gasoline and hold a sparkler, you deserve to get burned, and that's just how it works out. Yeah. Look, I think a lot of parents think that they're keeping a close eye, Dr. Anna Garza with Baptist Health System said, or sometimes parents just don't realize the dangers that are inherent with these fireworks. We see it widespread in our community, and I think sometimes we get comfortable and we don't think it's as dangerous as it is. I'll be honest. I'm scared to death of them. I always worry about throwing a black cat onto, say, a gravel driveway out in the country and it kicking a rock up and literally putting my eye out. I realize that I live in a consequence-driven world. But when you've lived, it is true that most wisdom is bad experience generated. Think about that for a second. Most wisdom does not come to you by osmosis. Most of the time, you learn the hard way.
How did you become fearful of the fireworks or leery of them?
Well, my
Did you
mother,
witness somebody do something?
There was fire involved, and my mother was like, "Be very careful." It was always. But
so you listen to your mom.
But I grew up on a street. I grew up on Milam, over off Mistletoe, right over by Smith Elementary, and it's where I get a lot of my foundational strength. Is I honestly thought I was Hispanic because my best friends were like the Hernandez brothers, Angel and Adolph and Chris and Michael and Carolyn and baby Iris. She's still baby Iris. She's like 55. But we ran the streets together. When somebody got a load of dirt dropped off in their yard, we had dirt clod fights.
Absolutely.
When when we got older, junior high, we had bottle rocket fights, and like guys would take like a little piece of galvanized pipe. We didn't have PVC. It was heavy. The weaponry was heavy.
You didn't have bottles?
Well, but no, because it would burn your hand. So we put them into the pipe and lit it and shot them out. Of course, you had every now and then you would actually hit somebody and then it would blow up and we'd all laugh and roll around on the ground. But the truth is, there was no white or brown. There wasn't. I can remember going to the Hernandez house and their mother preferred to speak Spanish. And I actually picked up a little of that being in their home, but they were just family. I mean, we were family. And by the way, we were all scared of the black guys. All of us.
El Brento.
Yeah. We were all scared of the black guys because we didn't know any. I can remember being a junior high guy and scared to death that we were going to Patty Welder to play. But even then,
they were good.
Yeah, they were good. Ronnie Thomas, that's all I have to say. Ronnie Thomas. I mean, I got dunked on in the 8th grade by an 8th grader who was younger than me. Ronnie Thomas, best athlete I ever saw. But I can remember going to PW, and it was before the days of the breakaway rim, and their basketball rim was bent, and we were like in awe, like, oh man, look, these guys are black and they're good.
That doesn't happen just by hitting the ball.
Right. We were scared of them. Yeah. Scared of them. Then we realized, hey, we're better at this game than they are. And that went away. And by the time we were in high school, we were all just great friends. It was a different America. There was no separation. We weren't fighting over silly stuff like they do now.
Not at all. So America 250. Such an American celebration that the organizers in Houston at Eleanor Tinsley Park decided that Keith Urban should be the headliner.
He's Australian. Yeah, interesting. He's trying to keep busy because he got divorced from Nicole Kidman.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know.
Let's see.
No big deal. But yeah, fireworks tomorrow night at the soon to be Gary T. Moses Community Center. I don't know. Should we try this? Try this with our listeners. CNN has a quiz about America's 250, and don't go cheating and looking at CNN. But let's start here. See how many of our listeners know the answers to this. See if you know the answers to this. On July 4th, 1776, the Continental Congress adopted the Declaration of Independence at a meeting in which city?
New York, Philadelphia, Boston, or Baltimore. I would say it was either Boston or Philadelphia, but I don't know the answer.
I believe it's Philadelphia.
Okay, let's go with Philadelphia.
Let's see, anybody else? Chime in. Facebook, YouTube, comment. We know you're there. All right, I'm going to say Philadelphia. Boom, correct.
Yeah,
there we go.
I'll go with that.
Who was sitting on the throne in England when the American colonies declared independence? Was it Henry VIII, King Charles II, Queen Victoria, or King George III?
King George III is who that was. It's my final answer.
It's your final answer?
Yes, King George.
Are you sure about that?
I'm willing to bet on it.
Because I have no clue.
King Henry VIII.
That was too early for Queen Victoria.
Yeah, no, it was. Although there was a Queen Victoria before there was a Queen Victoria, right? King George III. That's who it was.
Yeah, nice call.
Yeah.
How many terms did George Washington serve as president of the United States?
27. He was there from 1776
until Reagan.
Till Reagan.
1, 2, 3, or 4?
I think he only served one term. I don't know that to be the case. I know that Thomas Jefferson succeeded him, right?
I thought he served 2.
Anybody? Do you know how many terms he served? I don't know. I'll go with 2. Yeah, it was 2.
Retired after 1, but came back to serve an additional 4 years later.
I did not know that. So he retired after 1.
I didn't know he retired. I remember he served.
He considered retiring after 1 term, but associates implored him to serve an additional 4
2
years.
consecutive.
Yeah.
See, what do I know? That's what they teach us in Canada. Who served as George Washington's vice president?
That was John Adams.
don't even have to go through the
No,
list because you
Ben
knew it.
Franklin was never vice president. Neither was Thomas Jefferson.
In 1803, the U.S. purchased the Louisiana Territory from which country?
England, France, Spain, or Mexico. It was France.
France.
Like
Yeah.
$4 million
absolutely.
or something, $15 million. And it doubled, folks.
Yeah.
The Louisiana Purchase doubled the size of the country.
Yeah.
That's an amazing, amazing thing.
Think about that. Yeah. All right. There's 5 more if you want to go to CNN.com and figure out the rest of them. We don't have to bore you with all that, but thanks for playing along.
There you go.
John Anderson wants to know, do they use drones in the public fireworks shows in Victoria?
He's talking about like the drone shows where they do things. I don't
know
we're
if they
at that
are
point
this
yet.
year or not. I don't know. I think Houston does have a drone show this year. But yeah, I could not tell you if there will be a drone show as part of what's going on here. I just know there's big fireworks and all sorts of stuff going on at the community center. Going to be a warm one. Federal jury in El Paso convicting a former soldier who was then a contractor at Fort Bliss. The guy stole over $1 million worth of MREs. Prosecutors say he generated fraudulent paperwork and rented commercial trucks to haul the loads. He moved more than 200 pallets of meals ready to eat off the post in 6 months.
Wow.
This, I don't know. How do you do this? And you got active duty soldiers to help load the cargo. And then sold them online through a buddy of his to make a bunch of money.
I just looked up who Eleanor Tinsley was.
Okay.
And apparently she was a long time, she worked at University of Houston. I think it was a long time HISD school board trustee, and apparently very, very highly revered for her wisdom.
There you go. Remember that Tesla car that they said that the guy said that he was automatically driving and it just ran into that
Let me
house
guess,
in
he
Katy?
lied.
Well, he's now been charged with manslaughter, according to the
there
Harris
you go.
County Sheriff's Office, because the Tesla folks came out and said right away that they reviewed the data and he floored the accelerator and was doing about 76 miles an hour with no sign of braking when he crashed into that home in Katy, killed a 76-year-old grandmother, Martha Avila.
That makes him a bad guy. You know, I mean, people are crazy, right? But here's the difference, or here's a thing. Would they have told you the same story if the story would have been that he was driving a Pontiac and the car just accelerated on its own and ran into the house? No, they told you the story to somehow kind of malign Elon Musk. I mean, that's the truth.
Well, because he claimed it was in self-driving mode, and Pontiacs don't self-drive. Pontiacs aren't even made anymore.
True story. That's why I used Pontiac.
Yeah, but anyway.
I didn't want to miss my line.
Appreciate
Our
that.
brand.
Let's see what else is happening around the world today. Oh, you're changing hats up, are you?
Yeah. Special thanks to Michael McLeod for that.
McLeod.
McLeod, eh? That's awesomeness.
Astros did not play last night. As we look towards what they will do this weekend, they will host the Tampa Bay Rays.
Real quick, while you're at it, so this weekend you need to get by Deerland Feed and by the 21-7-14 blend. This is one of the days at Easter, on Memorial Day, on July 4th, and on Labor Day, you put down the 21-7-14 blend. While you're at it, look around your yard, because now is a great time to hook up with White Wing Materials. Whether you want all different grades of sand and gravel for your projects, or if you need top quality, premium topsoil.
Yep.
I'm talking without weeds, with what I would use on my yard. You call White Wing.
You want to top
Materials.
dress, fill in the low spots?
Absolutely. Yep. So many of the yards now in the newer homes, they put out the sod in squares, and there are places that they checkerboard it, right? So there's places you have the grass fills in, but you've got natural low spots. And if you mow, you can see them.
Well, and
And
they
you
just
just
use
fill it
that.
in.
They just use that fill. They don't really put good topsoil down because St. Augustine will grow on anything.
That's right. White Wing Materials. Check them out on Facebook. Folks, we've reached the top of the hour. We hope that you have a blessed and safe July 4th. If you travel, be careful. Be careful on the roads. Watch out for the postal trucks. People are crazy. Although if you stay on the pavement, you've got a pretty good chance.
I'd watch out more for the reaction of the postal carriers if you
Those
laugh at said
people.
postal truck driver.
Have a sense of humor. It's almost an essential thing to do in today's world.
Yep.
We love you guys. Happy birthday, America.
Enjoy the freedoms that you have in this country that do not exist anywhere else.
Amen. Melvin Ross, you have a good day too, buddy. Folks, we hope that y'all have a great weekend. Be safe on the roads. Love your neighbor, and we'll talk to you on Monday. Bye, folks.
Bye, folks.